Welcome to another 302 Sports Production, folks. I'm Benny Mitchell. Wednesday night, that means it's live wrestling here at Caesar Rodney High School, and the Riders are taking the mat. And as they take on Smyrna tonight, number 1 versus number 5, the Smyrna Eagles, the number 1 team in the state, taking on the number 5 Riders. And I'll be joined here shortly by Joe Arcangelo. He's making his way here to help me with the broadcast tonight. I want to thank Bob Baran, AD at Caesar Rodney High School, helping us get online tonight. A little trouble early when we got here. We couldn't get online, but he got us hooked up. We're online and we're rolling here at Caesar Rodney High School. Behind me, you hear the Caesar Rodney Jazz Band. One of the special treats when you come to some of the Caesar Rodney matches, especially at CR Smyrna. The rivalry continues tonight. Caesar Rodney and Smyrna, even though the Riders aren't having the greatest of seasons. CR Smyrna always a big-time rivalry in the Henlopen Conference, and we'll have another one tonight. We'll have some good matchups, and let's look at some of the matchups we are going to have tonight. At 120 pounds, we have number 1 versus number 2 tonight at 120 pounds. As two-time defending state champion Cameron Hayes, a junior, 23-3 this season, and he goes up against number 2 Nick Nattercola, a sophomore, 16-4. Another big matchup we could have tonight is number 2 Jackson Dean. We thought we were going to have number 1 Greg Baum. Greg Baum injured with a shoulder injury, but we're going to see Ryan Kelly, who's 2-1 on the season. He's a junior. He's a transfer from Slade Zanab, so that could be a pretty good, interesting match. We have at 195 pounds the number 1 ranked Tony Wiest, 26-2. He's a junior, and he's going up against Isaiah Washington. Just hit the rankings this week with his pin over Lawson from Ayotapont on Saturday, and he's 10-12. And so we could see some good action that could affect the rankings as the season goes on. We are starting at 160 pounds tonight, folks, and it's where we're going to see 160 Dakota Kerr up against most likely Mikel Abdullah. So we have CR Smyrna. I'm going to cut the mic for a second. You can enjoy the CR Jazz Band. Just like being at the club, folks. Folks, the Smyrna Eagles, they are on a 54-match in-state win streak. 54 Delaware opponents have gone down the road to the Eagles. The last loss to a Delaware opponent for Smyrna, February 14th, 2012, in the state finals to the Caesar Rodney Riders, 32-24. That was a Division I final. A lot of big names in that match that night. Brent Fleetwood, he's the 125-pounder from Central Michigan. He wrestled for Smyrna. Zach Parker, the rider, he's now at Ohio. Trey Mitchell, DJ Johnson, they're now assistant coaches here at Caesar Rodney High School. Saw Tyler Carney walk in as a fan here. Folks, here we go with the starting lineups. And here we go, folks. First match of the night, 160 pounds. Number 5 ranked in the state, Dakota Kerr. And he takes on Sam Kolashek for the Riders. So here we go, off and running at 160 pounds. Attempt to throw by Kerr, goes out of bounds. And Kerr snaps him down to the mat, out in front headlock position. First match of the night, Caesar Rodney and Smyrna. The rivalry continues. Riders be wearing the blue singlets with the gold band, and the Smyrna Eagles in the gray silver singlets with the red trim and S. And that's a takedown for Kerr. And goes out of bounds 2-0 with 1:16 to go in the first period on the restart. Kerr ranked 5th in the state, 21-8 on the season. And right away it looks like we have blood time. So they got Kerr cleaned up. Blood time stop. And we'll be able to resume with 1:16 to go on the restart here. Kerr up 2-0. He'll be in the top position. Kolashek comes to his feet. Big mat return by Kerr. And there he puts the boots in. Now he's looking to go to work on the top half. Our referee this evening, Mike Jordan, just retired from international officiating about 2 weeks ago. And Kerr looking to get it with a power half. No swipes yet. Cross faces it over. And now he's got that half deep. Boots in. Looking to step out and run the half. Kolashek trying to fight it off. No swipes in. There's the count. And there's the pin for Dakota Kerr. 1:26 seconds. Dakota Kerr, he gets Smyrna on the board first. 6-0 Eagles. That's going to move us to 170 pounds. At 170, number 3 ranked Larson Wilson. He's a junior, 15-4. And they're sending out Mason Wilson, the freshman, and he's going to go up against Jackson Raw. So Coach House sending out, possibly bumping up his lineup or pulling Larson out of the lineup tonight. Mason, he gets a takedown. He goes up 2-0. And Raw comes to his feet on the edge, and we're going to go out of bounds. 2-0 with 1:44 to go on the restart. So Coach Howe looks like he's going to bump his lineup here. As I see Larson Wilson warming up behind the bench. This is his younger brother, the freshman. Mason Wilson, he was a Henlopen Conference middle school champion last season. Yeah, I do not have a record on him. Didn't expect to see him in the lineup tonight. And he's got a reinforced bar on the left side, looking to tilt it up. And he's getting the swipes. And gets a count of 2. Now he's looking to run the bar over. And collecting more back points here. A minute to go in the period. Looking for the fall here at 170 pounds. Wilson just needs to sit through here. Finish this off. They're on the right on the edge. Got the backs. They're in bounds. 35 seconds to go here in the period. And Raw looks like he's going to fight off the pin attempt, the bar. That's going to be 3 backs. For Wilson, he goes up 5-0 here in the first period. And Jackson Raw, sophomore, 7-12 this season. Raw comes to his feet, hand fights, cuts and scores, 6-1 with 22 seconds to go here in the first period. Shot by Wilson. Raw able to post away. Wilson goes behind. And gets it back down to the mat for a takedown with 8 seconds to go. 7-1, Mason Wilson. And that's how the first period is going to end. 7-1 for Wilson. Raw's going to defer his choice because Wilson. Wilson's going to take bottom position. Second period, 7-1 Wilson. 170 pounds here. Folks, as you follow along tonight, you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the weight class that we are currently wrestling. So you see 170 down there in the bottom left. So here we go. In the second period, switch attempt by Wilson, followed through by Raw. And another switch. Raw able to follow. Wilson high turns the other way. And it's a good ride being put on here by Raw. Got a half in on the left side, stepping over, looking to run it, wrist and a half. Elbow roll coming from Wilson. Gets it, has a Peterson, gets the reversal, goes up 9-1. Now getting the back points, looking to turn in for a half. And Raw fights it off, but 2 back points awarded there. 11-1, Mason Wilson. And back with another half with a deep arm. 50 seconds to go in the period. And Mason Wilson with the pin. In 3 minutes and 26 seconds, the freshman, he puts Smyrna up 12-0, which is going to move us to 182 pounds. At 182 pounds, we're going to see Larson Wilson. He's the junior, defending state champ. Dropped to number 3 this year with a loss. He gets the quick takedown. He's up against Samuel Irvin, junior, 3-8. Wilson started the season ranked number 1, lost to Logan Montgomery in overtime. And then Montgomery lost to Blake Chambers last week, which dropped, moved Chambers to 1, dropped Larson down to number 3. But those two are going to meet next Friday night, and we'll have that match, Sussex Central and Smyrna. Tilt here by Wilson, and he gets the backs. He's up 5-0 in the first period. Stay with us through the program, folks. At the end of the night, we'll have an outstanding wrestler of the match. And here comes another tilt by Wilson, getting the swipes. And he goes out of bounds with 2 backs, up 7-0, 47 seconds to go here in the first period. This looks like attempting a A little bit of a spladle type move, maybe a ball, banana split, doesn't get to it though. Switches to the cross wrist. Looks like he's on tilt up again. 27 seconds to go here in the period. Rolls it through. And Irvin able to fight off the tilt attempt. Not now. He gets the swipes. Under 20 to go in the period. And referee Mike Jordan holding three. Gets the three. 10-0 with 10 seconds to go here in the first period at 182 pounds. And Larson Wilson now gets the banana split and getting some swipes with it. And time's going to run out. And two back. He goes up 12-0 at the end of one period. Wilson will take top position. Inside wrist, can't pull it out. Goes back to it, gets it across the middle of the back. Look at Oki bar here. Goes back, reverse bound behind. And looks like he's going to come across with a hazard tilt. Not there. Minute 30 to go here in the second period. Wilson just set it back points away from a tech fall. Approaching a minute to go here in the second period. And Wilson looking going to run the inside wrist. Big step wasn't there. Goes back to one-on-ones. 50 seconds to go in the period. Wrist in a deep half on the left side. Under 30 seconds to go here in the period. And he's running the wrist side. Gets it turned over. Has him looking for the pin here. Under 18 to go. And Irvin able to fight off his back. Award the three, and that's a tech ball. And 3 minutes and 57 seconds. And a 15-0 win for Larson Wilson. So the Eagles go up 17-0 as we come to 195 pounds. Where we're going to have Hunter Moyer, ranked number 2 in the state at 182, bumping up tonight. And he's up against Isaiah Washington, ranked number 6. Also just hit the rankings yesterday when the new 302 Sports rankings, top 6 rankings came out. Shot by Moyer on the right side, in deep on a double, cuts it across, gets the takedown, goes up 2-0. Moyer gets both boots in, looking to work on the top side. Now he has a reinforced half on the left and pushes it under. Still working that reinforced half. Both boots in. Looking to get the turn here. 47 seconds left to go in the first period. Now jumps out. Got a front arm and head finish here. And is going to get the fall in a minute 22. To put the Eagles up 23-0. which moves us to 220 pounds, where we're going to see number 1 ranked in the state at 195. Tony Weiss is a junior, 26-2. And the riders send out Kenny Tiemann. Tiemann 3-11 this year. He's a senior. Here we go, 220 pounds with the Eagles leading 23-0. Weiss locks up a body lock, and Tiemann able to circle out of it. And Weiss locks the body lock up again, looking to throw, lifts, takes him back to the mat, gets the takedown and the fall. 25 seconds for Weiss, putting the Eagles up 29-0. So we move to 285 pounds. Where we're going to see Elijah Taylor for the Eagles. He's a junior, 4-13 on the season, and he's up against number 6 ranked at 220, junior Brendan Holder, 14-11. Just got into the rankings with a big pin over John Lawson of Adapon, who was originally ranked number 6. And takedown by Taylor. Both wrestlers looking for the headlock there. Taylor jacklocks it, takes him to the mat. He's up 2-0. And got a locked hands on Taylor. It's going to make the score 2-1. And Holder holding his knee will be on injury time, folks. And we're going to take a quick commercial, and we'll be right back.
I'm Scott Kammerer of Sodell Concepts. We have 8 locations, a catering company and a food truck right here on the Culinary Coast in southern Delaware, and we'd love to see you at one of our locations. Fish On and Lewis in the Villages of 5 Points. Lupo Italian Kitchen on Rehoboth Avenue in downtown Rehoboth, serving homemade pasta. Papa Grande's in downtown Rehoboth. Our treetop deck has the best happy hour around. And Matt's Fish Camp, located on Route 1 in North Bethany Beach, your classic seafood shack. At Sodell, we believe in beautiful, simple food and making the world a better place. See you soon.
This place is for everybody. Actually, my entire family signed up. So my wife, my children, my young son comes in. My son's only 10.
We have the kids classes, we have the fitness class, if you're just looking primarily to get in shape. Obviously the jiu-jitsu class, that's what I come here for.
Every time I walk through that door, I'm unbelievably happy, that I'm here. I mean, just a reminder of all the energy.
And we're back to action, folks. Holder back up on his feet, ready to wrestle. Taylor giving him the intentional release. So we're 2-2 here in the first period. Now joining me, you must have had the match at Tower Hill. Up at Archmere. That's your old stomping grounds, the old Claymont area. Joe Arcangelo now joined me for the broadcast. And so far, Joe, real quick, started at 160, 170. Coach Howell inserted Mason Wilson and bumped everybody up. Not sure what the strategy there was there. Pulled out the Benedictus. And the Eagles are ahead 29-0 to start the night.
Wow, interesting. Sometimes that gives us a little bit more depth.
Right. I wasn't sure there was depth that they needed tonight, but they definitely got it, and Wilson gets the win. And so far, all bonuses. So we're 2-2 here at 285 pounds. As now Caesar Rodney bumps up.
So Benedictus won the 220. You said.
Weiss bumped up and got a pin at 220 pounds.
Oh, okay.
So Benedictus pulled out of the lineup.
And this
is 2-2 here. We're Taylor and Brendan Holder. And I was talking, Brendan Holder just got put into the rankings yesterday. A big pin over John Lawson of Adapon over the weekend. So a lot of things going on here, Joe, in the state of Delaware and wrestling. A lot of guys bumping around in the rankings.
And Eli Taylor, he's new to the sport of wrestling. He's really come along. Had a big match against Cape a few weeks ago when they were looking to get a pin there.
Absolutely.
He went the distance, and so he's learning and getting better every week. Kurt's doing a great job getting
probably the marquee matchup of the night. I told him in the pre-match show is 120 pounds. number 1 ranked Cameron Hayes, 2-time state champ, is going to be up against number 2 Nick Natacola, who Nick Natacola was hanging low. He was the low-hanging fruit there in the rankings until he got the pin over Caruso from Cape, and he ascended to number 2 shortly after Joyner took a loss. And so 120 is going to be an interesting weight class.
And we got a 2-2 matchup here, second period.
And Holder looking to go get the reversal. That's 2.
2 reversal. Yeah.
2 reversal. So we're discussing amongst myself. Mike Jordan just recently retired from international officiating, but still hitting the high school mats.
Yeah, Mike Jordan, Kurt Howell taking him to the table here, so I'm not sure what.
Standing reversal. I mean, that's pretty. That's textbook.
Got a standing reversal, and then he called it potentially dangerous. Maybe Kurt's asking what's going on. And Mike Jordan's experienced referee. He's been around for years.
A long time.
One of our better officials in our association.
Joe, we were talking about the Eagles being on a 54-match in-state win streak.
Wow.
54 straight Delaware opponents have lost to the Smyrna Eagles. Their last loss. Do you remember when their last loss was?
I don't.
2012.
Wow. Okay.
State finals to the Caesar Rodney Riders. Don't think we're going to see that tonight. Escape here by Taylor. Taylor's been coming on. That Cape match was a big turnaround match for him this season.
You know, you look at Taylor, Benny, and he just looks like he looks like a wrestler.
Right.
Beginning of the year, he was unsure of himself, and every week, like I said, he's just getting better. He's starting to get some mat sense about him, and he's a football player that came out for wrestling.
Same thing here with the Caesar Rodney kid, Brendan Holder, a guy that got out from the football team, and a guy that's he was learning how to wrestle in December and January, and that big win on Saturday, and he's got another year to go. This is a kid that could be might have a future in this sport.
Well, that's amazing. He pinned the kid from AI, who's
right.
eighth place in the Beast of the East this year.
No, not Juwan Jones. He was wrestling 220. He pinned John Lawson.
Okay, I got you. Okay, yeah, they're up here at heavyweight tonight.
Right,
I got
right.
you.
He
Okay.
got bumped up to heavy tonight.
Sure. So Taylor and Holder, they're going at it pretty good. We got a 4-3 match here. 25 seconds.
One thing
left
I remarked
here in
on,
the second
I was
period.
doing both the Milford match with Smyrna and the Cape match with Smyrna, and one of the things I remarked on him with Scott Cameron doing that night was, Holder very active with his hands and feet. That's why he's not stalling. That's why he never gets called for stalling, because he stays active. Both these wrestlers, active hand fight, active with their feet. And even though they're not getting to the legs, they're here goes a big side headlock. Arm slips out. Takedown at the buzzer. Going to make it 5-4.
Taylor definitely has the weight advantage here tonight.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you can see right there, Holder went for a headlock, and the bigger and maybe a little stronger tonight, Taylor was able to counter that move and come up with a takedown of his own.
So here we go, third period. Taylor in the top position Taylor in the bottom position takes bottom here in the third.
And he's up 5-4 here. So
285, Joe. I've been doing the rankings all year. One of the crazy weight classes to rank this year. Every time I put somebody in, they get knocked out.
There's an escape for Taylor.
6-4 for Taylor.
Yeah, we were talking about the rankings earlier. I saw you posted them tonight. There's some different weight classes where kids have beaten each other this year, and some guys haven't moved, some guys have stayed. I didn't know.
Well, if you look at that, and we'll talk about it after this match.
Yeah.
I'll get into it. And that's some pretty good ranking science there. We'll go over in a second.
Okay. And you do a great job with that. And I know the kids and all the parents.
We will use 138 as an example.
That. Okay, awesome. So we got a 6-4 match here. This is big for Smyrna, getting the heavyweight Taylor some more mat time.
Right.
And
4-13 on the season.
And Holder, 4 to
trying another headlock. He might get this one. No, he's not. We're going to get an illegal headlock.
Potentially dangerous. Whoa, wait a minute here.
Maybe because the arm was slipping out, he went ahead and stopped it.
Oh, okay.
I can only assume.
But, Holder, the lighter of the two, very athletic, pushing Taylor and actually making Taylor wrestle a little bit.
Here he goes. He has another side headlock. Both of them there, Joe. Who's going to get this one? Gets to the mat.
Just again, there's a little too much weight there, Benny.
Yeah, he's just able to get those hips down low, and it's hard to pull him over.
So right now, Taylor just has to protect himself here. He's got 45 seconds. He doesn't want to do anything to put himself in danger.
If I'm Holder, next headlock, I'm going to go the opposite way with a jack lock, and that arm doesn't slip out.
Taylor hits a Russian tie. Right. I like that.
Right. Taylor pushed number 2 ranked Anthony Flores of Cape and Loban. 1-0 he lost. And I thought at any time, he maybe was probably in a point-shaving role. I thought he had several chances to go on the attack in that match.
I mean, Benny, I've watched him wrestle all year. He's been down to Virginia duels. You can just see he's just moving better. He's got good hips, you know?
Yes.
And that just comes with more mat time.
Under 5 seconds to go.
Doesn't give up a takedown here.
Again,
he gets 2 on the buzzer.
8-4.
Wow.
Elijah Taylor with the win. 5th win of the season.
And that's definitely one that Dan Rigby wanted tonight, was that match.
I said CR coming in could win 5, maybe 6, depending on the Smyrna lineup.
Well, Caesar Rodney's really good down low.
Right, and
up to about 138. They're going to really push the Eagles tonight.
That's right. So here we go to 106 pounds. Anyways, back to 138. We had a big win by Vinny Diego at Cape and Open. He beats Anthony Fisher, the number 1 ranked wrestler in the state.
4-2. Yeah.
But the issue there was Fisher with 2 wins over Immediato.
Sure.
Immediato with 3 wins over Morris and 2 wins over Roras Robertson.
Right.
Plus Fisher has wins over Morris and Robertson. Morris has a win over Diego. There was no wiggle room.
Right, but I guess what, Diego's 3rd or 4th right now?
Oh, he's ranked. He's ranked number 5 in the state, and the loss to Morris is killing.
Primo
in the near side cradle
over Andruzzi. They could really put themselves back in this with a pin here.
We'll talk about him. Andruzzi, first win of the season was at Cape, and then he's reeled off 3 more since then. He's 4-19 in the season. He's a freshman, but he weighs 88 pounds, folks. And he's up against number 2 ranked Mike Primo, sophomore, 19-6. Primo spent the whole season ranked number 1, Joe. Took a loss to Zach Spence of Salazam, dropped to number 2. We're probably going to see that match again come late February.
And he's definitely working a tough cradle here on a lighter Andruzzi. Fighting off that cradle. Mike's got it in pretty tight.
Right, and it looks like he's trying to get back and gable that thing, get behind that leg. Under a minute to go, 52 seconds here in the fin. Here he comes, he gets the turn.
Go. Yep. And this is what Dan Rigby needs right here as a pin here at this weight class.
We said coming in, I don't think the Riders were a threat to beat Smyrna, but they could possibly put more points on the board than any other team has this year in Delaware.
Again, it just comes down to matchups.
Yes, absolutely. And as you said, the Riders really tough down low.
And I'll tell you, that's another weight class, 106. That's anybody's game as well.
Absolutely.
You know? Wow,
there's the fall for Mike Primo. 1 minute and 36 seconds. He gets the Riders on the board finally. 32-6.
And they're going to knock off a couple here.
Right, because now we go to Kevin Bowen. Kevin Bowen for the Riders. He's ranked number 3 at 113 pounds. Moved up when Spoley from William Penn took some bad losses at the Canal Classic.
Oh.
And by the way, Joe, we have the jazz band tonight.
Kevin Bowen is another guy who puts the time in the summer, the off season, and he's been around for a while. And you could just tell that, for his 3rd ranking, he's definitely put the time in, the hard work.
He's a sophomore, 17-9 this season. When you say 17-9, I think 3, maybe 4 of those losses are number 1 ranked Robbie Rosser. So,
sure.
He's done a good job here in state. He also lost to number 2, Hunter Hamill from Middletown. Gavin Assembly, freshman, 12-12. So Bowen, he's another one. Bowen's another one. Him and Hamill was a pretty close match. He could be a state finalist here at 113 pounds. Who knows?
Yeah, Robbie's definitely the front runner there. He's got the experience, and then the other guys are going to be fighting just to get into that top tier with him.
Good funk defense there by Bowen.
But like you said, it could be a number of guys in that weight class.
And he's going to get the 2 on the edge.
Was that a
reversal? Out of bounds, 2-2.
He gets a reversal there.
Yeah, Bowen showed good funk defense, but then stepped over and gave him the single leg. And he's able to capture the other ankle on the edge and get the 2. So we're 2-2 with 1:01 to go here in the first period.
And Gavin Assembly's another freshman. It's really 12-12 coming in tonight, but if you look at the schedule that Smyrna wrestles, he's been against some really tough kids. And
Bowen turning in. Assembly able to get himself out of that. Looks like he could pop his head and get the reversal. It's going to be 2 reversal for Kevin Bowen.
This looks like it's heating up to be a good match here.
Yeah.
Bowen working an arm bar here in a 1-on-1.
Under 30 seconds to go. Steps got the hook on the far side.
Good crowd here on hand tonight.
Pretty good crowd here for a Wednesday night match.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the last time CR beat Smyrna into the 2012 state finals, a couple Division I guys were on that team. Brent Fleetwood for Smyrna, now at Central Michigan, and Zach Parker, the heavyweight at Ohio University.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Well, no doubt about it. Caesar Rodney, Smyrna, competitive tradition over the last few years, and now Dan Rigby's got a young team.
That's why you packed the house tonight, because it's CR Smyrna #1, and they are a very young team. And you look at their roster, a lot of sophomores and freshmen. We're going to see one of those freshmen coming up here, ranked #2 in the state, Jackson Dean. We're hoping to see the Greg Baum Jackson Dean matchup. We're not going to see it tonight, but Ryan Kelly's tough in his own right.
Well, Ryan's been around. He's wrestled since he was a young guy, come up through the Little Wrestlers program at Smyrna, and so he's always going to go out and compete and do the
Jackson Dean twice this year has bumped up to go after state champs, and he's just not afraid of anybody. Anytime, any place, anywhere.
Jackson's been all over the country. He's wrestled all his life, and he's got good mechanics, good movement, and he's really good on the mat.
Right.
And he's got good mat sense.
Started the season unranked. I kind of felt freshmen have to earn it,
Absolutely.
And he did. He came right out. First match of the year, first duel of the year. He pins at the time #3 ranked Max Norquist out of Cape and Lopin.
Yeah, that's excellent.
And then he went up and he moved to the #2. He moved to #2 over McDonough when he got the win over Dante Mediato when he bumped up against Middletown. So he is definitely a freshman that's earned that ranking. And we're going to see him at 132 pounds tonight. Right now we're at 113. 4-3 lead for Kevin Bone of Caesar Rodney. And he's looking to get around to the backside, simply hanging on that leg. And we're going to get a stalemate. Good call there by Mike Jordan. We want to see some wrestling.
Well, it's second period, 59 seconds here, and we got a 4-3 match. And, this is definitely one that Dan Rigby's counting on. So,
absolutely.
They definitely need this one.
Still neutral. Bone looking to go behind. Want to shout out to our camera lady tonight, Cassie Primo. Appreciate her help.
Absolutely.
She is the sister of 106-pounder Mike Primo of Caesar Rodney. Got the takedown. He's up 6-3 is Bone. Also, our producer tonight, Nick Halliday up in Wilmington. And again, I want to thank Bob Baran, Caesar Rodney, athletic director, who got us rolling here tonight. We had some technical issues early, and he helped us out and got us moving. And of course, Joe Arcangelo sitting with me. He's my color commentator. And Joe, a little bit like me, done a little bit of everything in this sport. You've wrestled, you've coached, you officiated tonight. I officiated many, many years ago.
Yeah.
And now you can add color commentary to your litany of accomplishments in Delaware wrestling. 6-3 at the end of the second period. Move to the third. Bone will take the defensive position on bottom.
And Gavin, the taller, lankier wrestler, it should be. Let's see how he comes out of this. Maybe he's going to go into a leg ride or some type of. We'll see if.
Have not got to see him wrestle here at. I got to see him wrestle, but at Cape he got the forfeit, and at Caesar Rodney at Milford he bumped into Rosser, and that match was just all Robbie Rosser. Escape by Bone, goes behind,
gets a
takedown, up 9-3. Looking for a turn here or a cut and takedown to get the bonus.
Definitely looking for bonus points here. Definitely looking for bonus here if he can get it for the riders. He's been working
that bar and a hook.
Bar, yeah.
Joe, I'm cough-free for the first time since last week.
Awesome.
Got some medicine and had to go to a doctor to get real medicine. Every kind of stuff
running a cross face here, either going to look for a cradle or a Turk here, but goes back over, recovers around the hips, and Gavin's got his leg hooked there, so he's just trying to defend it, build up to his pace.
And now he's got looks like maybe a near side cradle here.
Now a minute left in the action here. Bone up 9-3. Again, like you said, looking for those bonus points.
Here he comes, cross space cradle, taking the head to the knee. And Assembly, good job fighting it off.
At this point, Assembly, the freshman, he's down 9-3. He just wants to make sure he gets off the mat without giving up any bonus points. And if Kevin Bone makes a mistake, then maybe we capitalize on it, get a reversal or close the gap a little bit.
And he's going to cut him with 30 seconds to go and try to get a takedown here.
9-4, right?
Should be 9-4.
Again, you don't want to force something where
gets the takedown, goes up 11-4, 20 seconds. Coach Rigby telling him to cut him. Cuts him with 14.
And he's running out of time here. See if he can get it. Oh, he's going
to get behind.
Wow.
Gets the takedown, gets the major decision. I think that's what you call excellent time management, Joe.
Yeah.
Able to get the 2 cuts. He got 2 cuts and a takedown
and Kevin,
under 30 seconds. Or 20.
Disciplined wrestler, looking at his coach, listening to the coach's directions. He come in here knowing, hey, we don't want to just get a decision. If we do, we do. But they're looking for bonus points now down low.
So here we go, Joe. The marquee matchup, 120 pounds. Number 1 ranked Cameron Hayes of Caesar Rodney, 2-time defending state champion. He's up against Nick Nattercola, number 2 ranked for the Smyrna Eagles. Nattercola, 16-4 on the season, and Hayes, 23-3. And Nattercola is a sophomore. Nattercola got a late start to the season, a little trouble getting the weight down. Then I think he got a concussion, correct?
Yeah, there was something like that happened, concussion related. I don't know how bad it was, but he's been back now. He's strong, and he's got his weight under control.
Hayes.
Been looking really good last late.
He has looked really good.
And he's going for a Splato here.
Not there.
And Benny, these kids know each other, so I anticipate both of them are going to come out and get after it.
And there's a takedown by Cameron Hayes. Hayes has ruled this weight class so far this year. He wins this match tonight. He'll have Joyner from Dover, and should be the number 1 seed in the Henley Open Conference, unless he falls to Joyner. And Hayes, he's a crafty wrestler. He saw as he went for that Splato, he saw it coming and reversed his hips and got out of it and got a double leg takedown.
Sure. Hayes is a real good on top. He stays in control. He doesn't panic. He just kind of takes what the guy gives him. But
and this 120, Joe, might be the toughest weight class in the state. You got Hayes, Nattercola, you got Caruso out of Cape and Lopin, you got Joyner out of Dover.
Yeah.
You got a kid that nobody's talking about. You got Tajon Knight out of Indian River. Will Carl out of Middletown.
And then you have, I guess, what his ranking up there at St. George's isn't bad either.
Yeah, he was in the rankings at one time.
Guys, sure.
He knocks him off, then gets knocked off. Hazard roll by Hayes, gets a couple swipes.
And it's in there pretty tight. Working a reinforced bar here now.
Approaching 20 seconds to go in the match. He has the reinforced bar. Looks like he's going to step and run it. Is going to step and run it and cuts back. Referee Mike Jordan holding 3 back points here.
Yeah, once Cameron gets that bar out of there, he'll get his points.
And there's the 3 as time expires. Cameron Hayes goes up 5-0. I think a match like this tonight, Joe, Cameron Hayes, he wants to dominate Nattercola and show everybody he is the class at 120 pounds.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff, when you've wrestled as long as both these guys, it comes down to mental focus.
Absolutely.
And obviously, if you come in you put some points up on a really good kid, it sets the tone going into the conferences in a few weeks and even the dual meet states.
And we talked about that with Nattercola. Nattercola, that wasn't a fluke pin down at Cape and Lopin. He was up 7-0 and hit that cradle and got the pin. That was I thought maybe when it happened, I thought, man, this could turn this kid's season into something special. And Hayes scores 6-0. And Hayes, not a big move guy, Joe. He's death by 1,000 paper cuts. Little take.
Finish this, Ben. He's in pretty deep, but Cameron's got a real tough wizard on him.
Wizard, good
hip
hip
it down
action.
Good. And
Goes
he's
back out front.
Like
and we go out of bounds.
But that's what Nattercola has to do. He's got to try to find a way to get some points on the board.
Yep.
And if you could do it on your feet, that's really good because Cameron's excellent on his feet.
Excellent on his feet, excellent on top. He's a pretty good top guy, too. He leads 6-0 right now, 1:22 to go.
Definitely not a position you want to be in here with Cameron underneath like that.
No,
so
absolutely.
He's probably looking for a stalemate at this point. Unless he can sucker drag out of it.
Well, it looks like he's going to take that hook, goes behind.
Oh, nice.
There's the hook, gets it to a single leg, brings it mid-level.
He's going for that Splato again,
Yeah,
Benny.
he's trying to get that Splato. And Hayes is too cagey, Joe. Steps aside and goes right to the double.
Now that Splato, it's a tight move, but if you go, you got to go full speed. You can't go halfway with it. It's almost like it's there, but if you don't commit 100% to it,
absolutely,
you're not going to get it.
And when you defend it, you have to defend at full speed. And that's what Hayes has done. He's switched those hips each time on him.
He's up 8-0 here, so he's looking at a major right now. Unless if we don't get a score change, and if 30 seconds left in the second period.
And we go out of bounds with 31 seconds left in the second period. He's up 8-0. A little frustration on Natacola there as he comes back in, slacks his hands together, but he gets right back down, ready to wrestle here. Smyrna leads in the team score 32-10. And if Caesar Rodney's going to do damage, this is where they have to do it, these first 5 weight classes. Escape by Natacola. He gets a point on the board, 8-1. And he stops the major. And 12 seconds to go in the second period.
And we got a whole another period left, so we'll see if things get heated up a little bit more here. Natacola definitely needs to get some points on his feet.
Yeah, he's got to get some offense
back
going
in this
here.
match.
So we'll move to the third period. Natacola's choice. He's going to take bottom. Hayes good when he gets that cross wrist. Good with the tilts, good with the bar tilts, good with the hazard roll. So right away, needs to clear his hips, clear his hands.
And Natacola's he's going to have to get out early to get something going here, or he's going to play right into Hayes' strategy.
Right to his spiral.
Here.
Trying to catch that cross wrist. And Natacola comes to his feet, looking to isolate the hand.
Trying to look like a standing switch or something. There it is. I wonder if we'll go back to that spladle again.
Yeah. And mid-level
there he
single.
goes.
He's trying it again.
Just quite couldn't get the leg hooked in there.
And he goes right to a bar.
Yeah. You're not going to be able to do that to Cameron.
No.
If
you
don't go.
You've showed it twice already. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows what's coming. So.
Yeah. So at this point you want to switch off and try to work something else.
Absolutely. Minute 17 to go here in the match. Cameron Hayes leading 8-1.
Got a nice one-on-one here, and
he's got that deep bar. Looks like he's trying to reinforce. Pulls the hand out.
He's going to try to get some type of tilt here, try to get the major, get some extra points for his team as well. Got some guys tuning in up in Newcastle, North Wilmington, Matt Asphalt, Bruce Arterbridge, and some family down Sarasota, Florida tonight.
Like I said, told you at the Milford match, we're national broadcasting now, man. I got people in Sarasota.
I have a brother up in Scranton that's tuning in, Mike, and so they try to follow the wrestling here, and they actually they enjoy it. They enjoy your broadcast.
Oh, I appreciate it. Good. 302 Sports, folks. Find us on YouTube. Also find us on 302sports.com. You can join our website. Plenty of photographs on there. Plenty of Ben Fulton photographs on there too. Follow us on social media, and we're getting some tilts.
There's that major he was looking for.
He's got some backs. We'll see.
It's either 10 or 11, but it's gonna be enough for a major here.
For a major, absolutely.
Barring any mishap here on Cameron's Hayes' part, it doesn't look like Natacola's going to.
3 backs. He goes up 11-1.
Get out of this one.
And now he's going with a half in the wrist. 10 seconds to go. Hayes not settling, Joe.
Well, he's a competitor. He's going to work the whole time,
Absolutely. He's going to get the major decision.
11-1.
11-1. And that's going to add 4 more for the Riders. 32-14. And that matches one of the higher putouts this year. Laurel had 14 points against Smyrna this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Laurel early in the season. Head coach Jesse Glandon. I did them in Delmar last week. So here we go, 126 pounds. Cole Sebastianelli, number 3 ranked at 126. He's a senior, 14-9. He's up against Ben Stevenson, a senior for the Riders.
That Bobby?
10-11, or Bobby, yes.
And it should be a pretty interesting matchup here. We'll have to see who gets out of the gate here and gets going early, And Stevenson in on an early shot.
Sebastianelli Love going to go behind. Comes to a mid-level single.
Looking to run the pipe.
There it is. Takedown, yep. Sebastianelli. Sebastianelli having a good mid to late season also.
Well, he's a returner at this weight class.
Right.
And he had a really good year last year, and he's been working hard, A
couple of guys he's hasn't wrestled Navarnik yet, and he's going to take injury time.
Cramping up.
Looks like a cramp in the
yeah.
in the calf. Yeah. The one guy that last year he got a couple wins over Stratton, and then Stratton beat him for the Henlopen Conference Championship, and Stratton's has kind of owned them since. Beat them in the Milford Invitational Finals, and Stratton number 2 in the state. We're going to see that Friday night as well. It could possibly be our Head 11 Conference final.
Stratton, interesting young man. Watched him grow up. You've had him part of your program
Absolutely.
for years down there at the Hammers Club. But a nice kid. He's grown up really nice. He seems different this year. He's keeping his temper under control, and he's doing it with his wrestling. And he's a class act, and I enjoy watching him compete.
He more focused this year, and focused, and also believes in himself a little more than he did last year. I thought last year's loss to Milwaukee, nerves got the best of him.
Yeah.
And then when you come to the backside for third place, not as much pressure in that third place match. He beats Milwaukee, goes number 3 in the state last year.
And I'm going to tell you, that Navarnik and Stratton matchup, if it happens, is going to be a doozy.
Absolutely.
Both those kids won't leave anything on the mat for sure.
So here we go, Nick Navarnik out of St. George's. Here we go, 2-0, Cole Sebastianelli leads Bobby Stevenson. Bobby Stevenson, one of the few rider seniors on senior night.
It's going to be a caution on top.
Oh, the Smyrna fans don't like it. Up there, they're reciting rules, Joe.
Smyrna fans always passionate.
Right.
They always bring a good contingent with them no matter where they're at. They love the wrestling down there, up there in Smyrna.
Over the past couple of years, the Eagles have, as we said, dominated Delaware. This year, they are the number 1 team, but they're a little more vulnerable this year, Joe, than they have been in the past 4 years.
That's what people are saying. But hey, you show up and you prove people wrong every night.
And they did that at Cape and Lopin. I talked to Kurt Howe, and I said, everybody knows what was being said.
Yeah.
Do you try to turn your kids away from me? He said, no, absolutely. I wanted my kids to hear it.
Well,
they walked in the Cape, and they just took it to them. 50-something to 13.
And Benny, it's just natural. Hey, Smyrna's 4-time state champs.
Got to want to beat them.
They'd like to get a number 5 if they can.
Right.
But if you're the other teams, you want to get better and you want to compete with teams like Smyrna and you want to knock them off. So it's Smyrna's job to keep working hard, stay focused, and not let all that talk and stuff get in your head, And
I think the Mason Wilson insert tonight may have been a message to Sussex Central coming up next Friday, because if there's a team that's going to get them right now, that might be them.
Well, Kurt's got a couple things he can do. He's got some depth in the middle from 26, 45. So, you don't show your cards, but hey, it's nice to have options if you need them.
Absolutely.
And some of our JV kids, if they were wrestling somewhere else, they'd be varsity.
Right.
They're behind some really competitive seniors, and they're waiting for their opportunity just to step in and dual meet and compete.
Smyrna, a lot like Caesar Rodney and Milford.
Sure.
Ben Anderson. Him and Stevenson have been trading 126 this year. Anderson only a sophomore. A lot of these schools, they've built a tradition, and they got the kid, the undercard, as we might call them.
And see, Benny, when you get a young team and you get kids that come in that want to be a part of that success, even if they have a better wrestler ahead of them, but you're practicing with that kid every day, and then when you get your opportunity, you jump right into the state and you compete for a state championship.
Right.
Just like the old St. Mark's days when, William Penn, they'd be 3 or 4 deep. And you'd see a kid show up his senior year, like, who's this kid? Well,
Absolutely.
He was behind a 3-time state champ for 3 years.
Right. Lift, can't get it back as time runs out, so ends the first period 2-0. Tell you, Bobby Stevenson, unranked, doing a good job here at 126 pounds, keeping it 2-0, doesn't give up the turns, and Sebastianelli, a pretty tough wrestler on top.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Sebastianelli, on your feet, I would say you probably have the edge here. So at some point, you want to get back to your feet, work your takedowns.
Little sit-out turn.
And here
Gets
we
to
go.
his feet, and there's the escape. So back on his feet, like you said, 3-0. Cole Sebastianelli with the lead. Front headlock position for Stevenson. They go out of bounds with 1:44 on the restart.
And Cole seems like
Still
that leg's
nursing that,
cramping up a little bit.
Shot by Sebastianelli. And that goes deep understep, not there. Another shot by Sebastianelli. And they go out of bounds, 1:27 on the restart. This is one weight class I'm really looking forward to next Friday night with Stratton and Sebastianelli. And we'll be live from Smyrna. I'm going to have Jared Doolin on the broadcast. Apparently Smyrna is starting their own broadcasting program, and I guess he's going to be in charge of it. So he'll be joining me and Scott Cameron next Friday night on the broadcast. hoping we're going to be upstairs. I like the view from upstairs.
So, where Hayes and Bone were looking for bonus points, you can for sure that Coach Hal's looking for some type of bonus action coming from Sebastianelli here.
Absolutely.
Being a senior and a veteran wrestler here in a big match.
He's up 3-0. Under a minute to go. 58.7 seconds left here in the second period.
Number 3 ranked Cole Sebastianelli, 14-9. It's Bobby Stevenson, 14-8. I'm sorry, 10-11.
10-11.
Yeah.
Had a pretty placed at Solanco. Then suffered a knee injury. Has been out. Then lost the position to Ben Anderson, and then got it back. And it's senior night, and he's out here in his home gym for the last time. I think they finish with Dover next week.
And Dover's another team on the bubble of getting in the tournament, and you got to like what Aaron Harris has done over there. He always gets the best out of his kids. You got Sally's, you got Dover, William Penn, all fighting for those last 2 spots.
William Penn and Middletown wrestling tonight for the Blue Hen Conference Blue Hen Flight A Championship. Winner goes to the state duels.
I think Middletown still has to wrestle Wilmington Charter too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But William Penn has a win over Wilmington Charter.
Okay. Should be interesting to see what Cliff Backus does matchup-wise to try to give William Penn a good shot here tonight.
Absolutely. And another thing that we have going on now, you see it especially in the rankings as we get a takedown by Sebastianelli with 5 seconds to go up 5-0, is we're seeing names dropping from the rankings, and we know why that is. Report cards came out last Wednesday, and we lost 2 to 3 kids that were top-ranked kids in the state, and plus the others that are not top-ranked in the state.
There he goes. The second injury time is going to cost him his choice here. So you're better off taking all your injury time here, maybe.
So, folks, while he's on injury time, we're going to cut to a quick commercial, and we'll be right back with me and Joe Arcangelo at Caesar Rodney High School with the Smyrna Eagles.
Hooters of Newark is located at 136 Astro Shopping Center, Newark, Delaware. Come in day or night to watch your favorite teams and sports on our many TVs. It's a great, fun-filled environment that is kid-friendly. Our craveable food menu has all the appetizers, burgers, salads, tacos, seafood, you name it, as well as our world-famous Hooters wings, which are the official wings of 302sports.com. Remember, you can always order online.
So we're back. Sebastianelli back to his feet, like you said. Second injury time, that's going to give Stevenson choice.
And it looks like he took neutral.
Okay, he took neutral, so no change.
So, again, here we are, third period. Sebastianelli looking for bonus points. If he takes another injury time,
well, you think about it.
Right?
I like the choice because you got a guy, what's he favoring? His calf.
Yeah. And if he takes another injury time, the
match is over, yeah. So he's got to. So, if I'm Bobby Stevenson, I'm moving this guy. I'm making him move those feet. Sure. And see if we can catch him off guard and get a takedown or end his match.
Yeah, no matter what happens here, Cole's going to have to tough it out.
And that's Stevenson in on a high crotch. Sebastianelli stretches him out.
He's trying to hook that
looking to hook that leg.
Nothing yet. There we go.
And there's the takedown. 7-0, Cole Sebastianelli.
It should be interesting to see what happens here. We got a full minute and a half left. Minute 20.
7-0. And now, if I got a guy nursing that calf, I'm standing up one run after another. Make him come up with me.
Absolutely. And we talked about grades earlier and how important it is for these young kids to really keep their grades up. These college, 77 Division I programs at the college level.
Right.
And the first thing they know you can wrestle.
Right.
When they're looking at you, recruiting you, the first thing they ask you is transcripts.
Yep.
And you really got to stay on top
Followed
of
by
that.
SATs.
Yep. You really got to stay on top of that.
And as like you said, you've just finished up the recruiting process as your son Chase, we'll see at 145 pounds later tonight, signed, sealed, and delivered to Cleveland State. Went through the same process with my son, but at the Division III level, but still the same thing. Most of the Division III schools are very high academic schools.
Yeah.
And, you got to have the SAT scores and the GPA, and my son was fortunate to get into McDaniel College, get his degree, and wrestle 4 more years.
And, Benny, I try to tell people when it comes to Division I, Division II, III, not to get hooked on that.
Right.
And it's particularly with wrestling.
Right.
Because wrestling's weight classes.
Right.
And if you're a good wrestler, you can compete at Division III, you can compete at Division I. So a lot of people don't understand that there really isn't a difference when it comes to wrestling. There are a there's some tough kids at Division One, but there's some kids at Division Three that could beat some national champions in Division One.
2015, you had 2 JUCO transfers.
Yeah.
Transferred to Division Three and beat 2 Division One transfers that transferred down to Division Three for national titles.
And you know what it comes down to? I try to tell young kids that are looking at schools, it comes down to what fits for you.
Absolutely.
What your needs are. If you want to continue your wrestling and your academics, then you pick a school where you think you can live the next 5 years.
Right.
Don't get caught up in what division it is,
And Stevenson looking to go behind, 7-1. One more takedown, got the major. Cole Sebastianelli.
How about that
He
one?
goes up 9-1 as puts the Eagles up.
Right
36-14. But as we talk about, like you said, it has to be the right fit. Son returned from college and came home to live with us. And right around homecoming, I asked him, I said, do you miss college? He goes, yeah, I miss it this week, So, like you said, a place that you can live the next 4 or 5 years. So here we go, 132 pounds. Wasn't the matchup we anticipated, but it's going to be a good matchup nonetheless. For the Smyrna Eagles, filling in for defending state champ Greg Baum is Ryan Kelly, the junior. He's 2-1 on the season. He's up against number 2 ranked Jackson Dean, freshman, 21-5. And 2 of those losses, Joe, were at the Beast.
And, Ryan Kelly comes from a history of wrestling in the families. His father, Fran, and Matt. I wrestled with Fran at Delaware State University back when they had a program.
Quick out of bounds.
So he comes from a good tradition of wrestling,
Right.
Competitive uncle, and again, his dad wrestled Division I level.
Right.
And Ryan's another wrestler who's been around for a while.
Talking to the Caesar Rodney coaching staff. Oh, nice little reach for that ankle. He gets it. Now he's looking to take him to the mat.
Wow.
They said this is one of the hardest working kids in the room, Jackson Dean.
And Kelly is
good defense here, but Jackson Dean switches off to the double. So even without Baum, nonetheless, with Ryan Kelly, we're going to get a quality matchup here at 132 tonight.
Well, anytime you wrestle a kid like Jackson Dean, you got to be, no matter what your level of game is, you got to bring it.
Little duck under, sweeps the foot, can't secure it.
Wow, And Ryan Kelly knows who he's coming in here and competing against. So
that's right.
He's going to
out of bounds.
Put his best foot forward.
And the one thing you never see out of Jackson Dean is you never see him panic. Rarely do you see this kid panic in a match.
And that comes down to mat time and experience.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been on the big stage.
Oh, little wrist exchange to a double. Gets the takedown. He's up 2-0.
He's been on the big stage plenty of times, so you're not going to get any type of panicking going on with him. He knows what he has to do. He was,
I believe, an NHSCA All-American. Maybe he placed at Super 32.
I'm not sure, Benny.
Yeah, I know he was down there.
And that's another thing, if you look around our state of Delaware, small as it is, the kids that are at the top level, these are kids that wrestle all year round. Some play 3 sports.
Right.
But the kids like Jackson, Chase, and Tony, these are the guys that put the extra work in July, in August. And
I'm not going to jinx him, but if he were to bring a state title home to Caesar Rodney this year, with all the tradition and all these banners and all the names on the wall in there, Caesar Rodney does not have a 4-time state champion.
Wow, that would be awesome.
So he's going he can win it this year. He'd be going for the first.
And he's the kind of guy that can do it. It's
here's a tilt.
A lot of things have to play into that.
Sure. Yeah, I talked to
preparation, hard work.
I talked to Sheldon Thomas years ago, and he told me that the one thing about being a 4-time state champion, you got to be lucky. It's more about being lucky than it is about being good. Don't get hurt. Don't get sick.
Yeah. I mean, look at Chase. He's going for his title, but he's been in the finals 3 times.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he lost to a guy he beat 3 times his freshman year, 4-3 in the finals. And
Jackson Dean turning in as little flip funk, and he's going to come out with it. Looking to hook that near ankle.
I mean, Ryan Kelly's not.
There it is, reversal, 4-0, 6-0. Jackson Dean. And you're right. Ryan Kelly's no slouch.
He's not going lightly here. He's trying his hardest here to give Jackson a tough match, and he's not giving up any points for free.
You know, another guy we don't even talk about at 120, Joe, is as we're getting some swipes here on the edge. Jacob Crenshaw was at St. Paul's at the beginning of the season. He is now enrolled at Milford High School. Has, I believe, a DIAA hearing coming up next week, and he could be in the mix at 120 or 126 before it's all said and done.
Absolutely. Should be a pretty exciting state wrestling tournament this year.
I think it's going to be one of the better ones in probably 4 or 5 years. A lot of, when you have weight classes, when you have a handful of weight classes where you can't say who the definite champion is going to be, you've got some competition this year, and they go out of bounds.
And with that being said, we're going to be at Dover High School this year for the state tournament. So
if you've never been to that facility, that's a nice one.
It's a nice gym. It's a little bit different than Cape Henlopen, who's hosted the tournament the last 3 or 4 years. But
went up to a meeting with Buddy Lloyd and Aaron Harris a couple weeks ago and laid out the what it was going to look like.
Yeah. Again, Dover High School is a beautiful campus. The gym is really nice, and he came to the state wrestling committee, which I'm a member of, and asked if they could have an opportunity to host the tournament. And we went out and we checked out the facilities, and it looks like they can.
And we're getting some.
They have the space to do it.
We're getting some backs here. Holding 2, gives 2, 8-0 going into the third period. Well, they hosted the conference last year and did an absolutely fabulous job hosting the Henlopen Conference. And you know what? It's also not a bad layout for state duels if they ever decide to have it there. It can fit 4 mats across with every bleacher out.
Sure. And again, I was back in the day where Delaware State University hosted the state flavor with both the bleachers out on both sides.
Yep. 8-0 Jackson Dean. He's built up a major. Go to the third period. Kelly's going to take neutral.
Well, you got to say if Kelly can get through this period without giving up a tech or a pin, that, that's probably something Kurt Howe's looking for at this point.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he almost stepped into a throw right there. There's a little duck, and Dean's in again, 10-0. And we've only had him on 302 Sports. This is only his second time. And, people at home watching, he is just an impressive freshman.
Speaking of freshmen, JT Davis will be up.
Yeah, he's been exciting to watch this year, too.
Against a senior, Cody Stevenson. Now, it looks like Cody's
been in and out of the lineup also with some injuries.
Now, there's a guy's probably better than his record, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we could have a good match 103. As you saw the first Stevenson, he didn't give up his points till late. It was, 2-0, 3-0, and then gave up some late points. So Cody, he's coming back from a knee injury on senior night. They are twins, by the way, Cody and Bobby Stevenson. 12-0 for Jackson Dean. Still a minute 12 on the clock.
And right now, Ryan's got to be thinking, I got to get through this period without giving up a tech if I can or a pin. You're down 12 points, so, barring
and here comes that inside wrist tilt.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Not enough. Then he gets the 1 count.
So it's
still 12-0. And for a freshman, usually when you see freshmen coming in winning titles, it's 106, 113.
Sure.
This kid's coming in at 132 where the seniors are, where the men are. And transition.
Oh, we're looking for a tech fall. I think he's going to get it.
And he got it.
There he goes.
Tech fall. 5 minutes and 25 seconds, 15-0. And that was an impressive transition there right at the end.
Well, that's good work on Jackson Dean's part, working his moves, not forcing anything, but taking what Ryan gave him.
Right.
And he's able to get a 5-point tech fall for his team.
So we move to 138 pounds. JT Davis, he's a freshman, ranked number 6 in the state.
Also Chase's cousin.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
19-10 on the season. And he's up against Cody Stevens, a senior, 5-6, and JT in on a quick takedown. He's got it, 2-0 for Davis.
Secured that foot and came around through and got it there. And
he had a big pin last week over Gavin Garcia, who just bumping up from 32. Tough loss to Diego from Cape Henlopen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But he's competing,
right?
That's the thing. It's
38's going to be another crazy weight class in the conference.
if you don't get caught up in wins and losses, especially if you're on the loss side of things when you're wrestling the studs in that weight class, but it's a journey. And so each match you're trying to get better for that conference and for states. And I know you've been around just like I have. You've seen guys show up at state tournament who've had great records all year, but they don't bring the mental focus they need to compete at that level. So you look at a kid like JT, he could go in there and knock off a couple guys.
Sure. Nothing, you can go in that nothing to lose attitude, which is kind of how he's wrestled this year.
Yeah, well, I don't think he was ranked all year either. He
moved into the rankings January with a couple big wins over Luke Harasica out of Slasianum, who had been previously ranked. But 38's another one that could shake up very easily.
Absolutely, you got a lot of experienced talent there. You have a returning state champ that's up two weight classes, Dante Mediato.
Correct.
And he's another guy that puts the time in and he works at it. You know, even when things don't go his way, he goes right back to practice and he tries to get better.
Davis going to give him the free release here, makes it 2-1 with under a minute to go in the first period. Smyrna leads in the team score, 36-19. They've wrapped up the duel. And one more. Nice little duck under, go behind. Needs a lift and return and gets the takedown. He goes up 4-1.
So, Caesar Rodney had a couple bonus matches, and this is obviously one that we could get.
Right.
And
this is a huge matchup next Friday night. He's going to be going up against number 4 ranked Drew Morris out of Sussex Central. So this could be one that Kurt Howe would like to steal.
It's definitely going to be a swing match here at 138.
Yep.
Absolutely. I don't know how you call that one. That's going to be anybody's match.
Can't wait to get there. And we're going to caution red.
That might come down to how you wake up in the morning.
Right.
How you're feeling.
Absolutely.
What you have for breakfast, and
Morris early in the season, Milford Invitational escaped by Stevenson 42. He took it to Immediato early in the match, got the quick takedown, and then Immediato got the tilt and won the match. And since then, Immediato has handled him a couple more times. But Morris is another. He beat Vinny Diego. He's another explosive wrestler. If he gets on top of you and gets that confidence, watch out.
You look at that 38 and everybody's beating each other, but it comes down to body types and matchups.
Right.
So many kids on paper
and
you would
style
think would win.
And wrestling style.
There we go. JT
Cradle on the edge, takedown out of bounds.
Good position and a nice call by Mike Jordan. JT's going to try it.
And we go out there as time expires. 6-2, JT Davis. Stevenson going to defer, and Davis will go down for the start of the second. 138 pounds. 2 matches left. And the last, all these last 3 Smyrna wrestlers ranked, as I believe they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but 10 ranked wrestlers, 9 ranked wrestlers.
Yep. Caesar Rodney has 6.
Right.
And at this point, you're looking at the score going 36-19, and obviously Smyrna could put a couple more matches up. But when you look at the breakdown of the individual bouts, there's been some good wrestling here tonight.
Yes, there has. Sure. Yeah, now, Joe, we'll talk about some of these upsets we've seen here in January, mid-late January. A couple number ones take some losses in mid to late January. Those guys, mentally, they're going to be focused for those last 2 weeks. Do you think the guys that are pulling these upsets may be peaking a little early?
I think that could happen, sure. And it's tough to be upset the guys early and then have to do it again
right.
and again.
Right. Takedown by Davis.
It's just one of those things where you have to have a maturity and the mindset,
right,
and the focus, and if you have to be somebody who goes to bed and wakes up every day thinking about what you have to do.
Right. Well, another thing you could see is some of these guys, some of these number ones have been knocked off. They've been in finals. They've been in the big finals before, and they're going to be ready and focused. And there's a little thing called stage fright.
Road tested, man. It's a marathon, and you in this sport, if you come out in a full sprint, you have to pace yourself.
Exactly.
It's a long season. It's not where you start; it's where you finish that matters.
Davis in on another shot. He's up 9-3. Gets to the double leg takedown with 38 seconds to go in the second. And he's built his major now up 11-3. And he's going to cut and go to work.
I'm really impressed with Davis tonight on his feet. He's really working and moving Stevenson and setting up good shots. Again,
there's another shot, low single. And he's going to circle right. Try to gather that second one. Yep, there it is. Takedown. 13-4.
Kind of the same shot he was trying to worked with Diego a few weeks ago and missed it on the buzzer there.
Right, and got it on the edge. So, he gets that in the middle of the mat.
Oh, sure.
That could be a Friday night match at the Henlopen Conference.
Oh, it's going to be great. I tell you what, the Henlopen Conference is stacked from 106 to heavyweight.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of talent down there. Not taking anything away from Independent or Blue Hen, of course, but they're 3 or 4 deep in the Henlopen Conference.
Well, I'll do it because Paul Collier calls the Henlopen Conference the Big Ten of Delaware wrestling, Delaware high school wrestling.
It's exciting.
I think the upstate teams they're gonna steal a couple more weight classes at states this year. I don't think the Henlopen can pull 10 again. I didn't think they could last year, but I think there's some guys up there. Timmy Griffith out of Sanford.
Sure, Nick Naticola,
Dante
Brooks,
Mediata, right?
Brooks
comes back tonight.
Yeah, there's some really good kids up there that are going to come down here from their respective conferences.
J. Juwan Jones out of AI the Pond.
And they're going to compete for titles.
Take down for Davis.
Certainly not taking anything away from those conferences because there are some great individuals up there that can hammer with the best of them.
Absolutely. And the one thing at the Henlopen Conference is it's been referred to as the meat grinder. It's a tough tournament to get through.
As an official, someone who's repped the conferences in the last 15 years or so, I've done them all.
Right.
And I'll tell you, the Henlopen Conference by far, it's a meat grinder.
Yeah, and it's fun to be at. It's fun to watch.
You better have some thick skin when you walk in those doors and be an official
of
the conference.
Minute 5 to go, 15-5 lead for Davis. And this year, what I find usually whoever wins the North goes in and wins the tournament and becomes Henlopen Conference champion.
Sure.
This year might not be as easy because I'm looking. Cape could pick up 3 champs. CR could pick up 3 champs. Central could pick up 3 champs. Smyrna 3 champs. And this tournament could come down to second place and the backside of the bracket.
Let's look here tonight. Caesar Rodney lost to Cape Henlopen by 3 points.
Right.
And we talk about matchups.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Cape goes out and beats Sussex Central, and we go and. But I was trying to tell someone the other night that you can't go by that.
Right.
Because there's a lot of factors that happen in a dual meet. Momentum being one of them.
Well, I'd like to be a fly on the wall at the seeding meeting this year at the Henlopen Conference because it's going to be crucial. Seeding will be crucial in this tournament.
And Benny, seeding for the conferences is done by the coaches.
Right.
And I've been in those rooms too.
Yes.
As a coach. But then the seeding for the state tournament will be done by the state wrestling committee. So.
But the conference results have a big play in that.
Head-to-head competition, common opponent. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it comes down to, hey, I pinned this guy and you beat me by points.
I've seen seeds come down to a Mount Madness backside, a consolation quarterfinal match, stuff like that.
Okay, so let's say a kid wins 7-0 versus 8-0.
Right.
And somebody majors a guy 8-0. But you lost them by 5 points.
Ones.
That all comes into play later.
JT Davis, major decision, 15-5. The freshman, he was our outstanding wrestler last week. The Riders go up 40-9. So here comes Joe's son. You can back away if you want, Joe.
I will.
Number 1 ranked, 2-time defending state champion, Chase Arcangelo for Smyrna. He's a senior, 27-4. And sophomore Riley Tracy, 17-9 for the Riders. Talking to my son Trey, assistant coach of Caesar Rodney, says he really likes the progress of this Riley Tracy. Now he's got his hands full tonight. Don't get me wrong, but he said this is a kid that works hard and has improved all season long.
Sure.
But for all that, he gets the 2-time defending state champ, and Arcangelo's up 2-0. 20 seconds into the first period, looking for that little wrist tilt. Gets one, but I think that's it. No backs on that. Crossface cradle coming.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
So far, he's been the class of 145. And I've noticed in the big matches, he may not be majoring or attacking or pinning people, but they're not scoring on him. And here he gets the cradle here. Minute 10 to go. And now gets his backs. Now he's looking to get the pin. And Tracy able to fight off. Rolls, goes out of bounds. Anyways, back to my point, Joe. He maybe not majoring and teching everybody, but he's not allowing his top competition to score on him.
Well, when you look at the weight class, Ben, there's a lot of good kids there, and they're not going to let you tech them and major them every night. I mean, these kids are, they've been around as long as he has, and they're competitors. So when you're wrestling that kind of a guy, you got to take what they give you.
Right.
And don't panic.
Right.
I mean,
I believe
if Chase won all his matches by 4 points, he'd be okay with
right.
that.
He shut out number 1, or at the time, number 2 McDonough. He shut out Nick Lee, and he shut out Zeke Bean from Cape and Lopin, but got the major in that one.
And Beam's another scrappy, competitive kid. So, you look at that weight class, there's some good kids there.
Sure, absolutely.
And I know that you can't take any one of them lightly on any given night. So.
Well, he's felt it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, he rebounded from it and won a state title, but Chase
well, last year
Fisher had the match of his life, wins the conference, but Chase regroups, comes back, pins him, and wins the state title. So and that's part of the focus you talk about, right?
Yeah, sometimes those are good things.
Up 10-0 with another cradle, right? Up 10-0 with another cradle. Now he's stretching this one out, looking for the fall here in the first period. Goes back to the knee and the ribs.
He's got to squeeze those elbows together and get that shoulder down.
And time expires. He's got a 13-0 lead. Here in the first period, he's going to take top. He's going for the fall, looks like.
Fall or attack, whatever comes first. He's been putting up a lot of points. He's,
kind of wondering, looking at that Central Smyrna matchup. They have a Central, one of the holes in their lineup is 145. I wonder if we will see a Chase bump in that match.
There's a high half.
Has a high half. He's going to roll through. Now he's looking for the stick.
Wow. See if he can get it here. He's got plenty of time.
And gets the fall. 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Chase Arcangelo gets the pin. And the Riders go up 46-19 with 1 match left. And that's Nate Bryant. I know you know Nate Bryant, and I've watched him over the years. I go back to the Cape and Lopin match where me and Scott Cameron referred to it as there's 2 Nate Bryants. And and we saw both of them in that match.
Well, hey, let's talk about 152. You talk about another
good weight class
to come down to 4 kids.
Right. And on a double, this is Nate Bryant. He's a senior, ranked number 3 in the state, 18-7. He's up against freshman Ryan Rigby, 10-10. And Rigby, he will be a tough competitor, just like Riley Tracy before him. They're young, but they're taking their lumps right now. But watch out for these guys down the road.
Again, that's it. It's a process.
Going back to Nate Bryant. We watched him go out and build up this early lead. We're thinking, oh my goodness, it's going to be a major or a tech fall.
Right.
And then he survived that match against Dante Jaquette. And like I said, I've watched over the years the 2 Nate Bryants, and we got to see both of them in that match.
Well, you come out swinging for the fences in the first period, you got to be careful.
That's right.
Like I said,
he's got his cradle.
Yeah. But did I hear right that Griffith lost last week too?
Yeah, he lost to Dante Jaquette. Again, same thing. There was no movement because everybody's beating everybody. That's a pin in 58 seconds. That wraps up the night, folks.
52-19. Smyrna, another impressive outing tonight.
So, let's see. People we need to thank here. Bob Braun, AD here. Nick Hadley, our producer. Joe Arcangelo helped me with the color commentary. Cassie Prima with the camera. Our referee's name, Michael Jordan. Folks, we're going to cut to a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back with tonight's outstanding wrestler.
Sweet. Thanks, Benny.
No problem. Solo Concept is the premier restaurant group in Southern Delaware. We have 8 restaurants from Lewis all the way down to Fenwick. We have a catering company, a food truck, soda company, a film company, and an entertainment consulting company. We believe in simple food. We like to develop the people we work with, and at the same time, we have a little bit of a higher mission, and we're trying to make the world a better place. And the people that every day wake up and they get after them.
Give me Elijah Taylor.
Elijah
Taylor, yeah.
Really a national focus for the United States as a food destination. I think we've done a really good job of that in the past few years. The daily grind of the restaurant can be very difficult. You're dealing with alcohol, food, and people. Those are 3 highly volatile things. So sometimes it's better to have a little bit of a higher calling, a little bit of a higher purpose, that as a group we're trying to get together, stick together, and be about something. And for us, it kind of gets us through the hard seasons and the hard times that we can rely on each other. We have about 150 full-time year-round employees, and then every season we hire, I think this year we hired about 270 people. So we have 270 seasonal people spread out throughout the whole county. And for me, it's great. And some of these people started out as 15-year-old busboys working with us, and now they're lawyers and doctors and business executives throughout the world, and they still come back and they have a relationship with us. So it's been a really nice experience for us that we're so connected to the community, and we can develop people on so many different levels. We want to support the people that we work with. We want all of our employees to have what they need to grow and be professional. And we may open 10 more restaurants. We may open 100 more restaurants. But all we know at the end of the day is we want to stick together, and we have a great group of people, and I'm really proud of them. I'm proud of everybody. This was a really trying year, and it's a testament to the team that Matt put together that we flourished after a tragedy. And the stronger and better we can make Southern Delaware, the better our restaurant group's going to be.
And welcome back, folks, to Caesar Rodney High School. And with me, our outstanding wrestler for tonight's match, Elijah Taylor, the heavyweight, the junior. And Elijah, only 4 wins on the season. You got number 5 tonight, and you got it in kind of a barn burner. Talk about that match a little bit. 2 takedowns late, and you get the 8-4 victory.
I tried to work my moves that my coach showed me, and I really just tried to bring them down and get the pin quickly, because I was going to get tired easily because of lack of practice. But I just winged it basically.
Now, that's a big win for you down the stretch. Do you feel like you had a really good match with Zach Flores of Cape and Lope, a match I thought you were probably in a point-shaving role where you didn't want to give up any big points, but I thought it was a match where you had a couple opportunities in there to maybe pull that match out. Do you feel like you're building up confidence heading into the Open Conference Championships?
Yeah, I feel like because as I got more wins, I feel more confident in my abilities that I'm growing as a wrestler, and I feel like I could probably be more of a competitor next time I face that person.
And after the after the match with Flores, you had a tough one against Brian Wines,
yeah.
And you were in that thing, midway through the match, and Brian Wines is a tough competitor. I know he's ranked number 3 right now, but he may very well be the top heavyweight in the state. He got the pin, but do you pick anything up from that match? Do you learn anything from that where it was close and then you get pinned late? Are you picking anything up from matches like that as well?
Yeah, I learned not to do certain moves because in certain cases they can be a stretch and really risky. So I just got to be more safe when I go against top competitors like that.
Folks, our outstanding wrestler for tonight's match, Elijah Taylor, the heavyweight for Smyrna. Folks, we'll be right back, and we'll wrap up tonight's match.
Effort that I've put in.
Even if you just watch a class first, you won't know until you try.
This place is for everybody. Actually, my entire family signed up. So my wife, my children, my young son comes in. My son's only 10.
The kids classes, they have the fitness class, if you just want to primarily get in shape. Obviously, the jiu-jitsu class, that's what I come here for.
Every time I walk through that door, I'm unbelievably happy that I'm here. It's just a reminder of all the energy and effort that I've put in.
Even if you just watch a class first, you won't know until you try.
You did very well.
This place is for everybody. Actually, my entire family signed up. So my wife, my children, my young son comes in. My son's only 10.
You can just turn it on that.
Classes, they have the fitness class, if you're just looking primarily to get in shape. Obviously, the jiu-jitsu class, that's what I come here for.
Every time I walk through that door, I'm unbelievably happy that I'm here. It's just a reminder of all the energy.
And welcome back to Caesar Rodney High School, folks. Again, Smyrna Eagles, they roll. They now are well ahead here in the Helen North. They have the big showdown next Friday night. I'll be with me, Scott Kammerer, and Jared Doolan will be joining us with that broadcast as we be live from Smyrna High School. But tonight, 52-19, the Smyrna Eagles over Caesar Rodney. They got, like I said, they have Slazan next week. They have the big matchup with Sussex Central to end the season, which that one could be a go either way type match. I want to thank Nick Halliday for producing back in Wilmington. Again, Cassie Primo, our camera lady, Bob Baran, the AD here at Caesar Rodney High School, and of course Joe Arcangelo for joining me with the color commentary. And I'm Benny Mitchell for 302 Sports Live. Hey, I can't forget our photographer here tonight, Ben Fulton. So make sure you check out Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, as Ben will have photos up from tonight's match. And again, next week, match of the week is the Sussex Central Golden Knights are going to travel north to Smyrna to take on the Smyrna Eagles, basically for the Henlopen Conference Northern Division champions. Folks, thank you. And